Well, apparently Albert Pujols isn't the only future Cardinal Hall of Famer that wants a job in Major League Baseball in 2026. We'll talk about it here today on Card Central 365, brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Joe Roderick, Brenden Schaeffer with you here on a Thursday. Brenden, I don't know if you saw yesterday, Yadier Molina posted, went to Instagram, posted a cryptic message once again.
That does sound like him.
Saying that at noon on Thursday, he was going to have some news. He was, stay tuned. What's it going to be? And I really thought that it was just going to be some new business venture of his down in Puerto Rico or somewhere else, and that it was going to be just a big nothing burger. But it's still, I guess, open for interpretation as to what it means. Yadi posted in both Spanish and English a picture with the caption, and I'll put it up here on the screen, Brenden, for our viewers on YouTube to check it out. It says there, if you can read that, if you want to enlarge your screen. Throughout my career, I've had countless satisfactions both on and off the field. After 3 years away from the lines, I'm ready to return to the field, whether as a coach or manager in MLB, Mexico, or wherever I can continue my baseball career, contributing and giving back to the sport I'm passionate about. Brenden Schaeffer, you hear those words, you see those words. We heard reports last week that Yadi was interested in becoming part of the Cardinals staff. What do you read into that, seeing that he's kind of posted it now on social media?
Well, and maybe reading too much into this as well, the fact that, the stuff with Albert is really starting to ramp up and heat up, and those two have always been connected, right? In the path that they had with the Cardinals, and obviously Albert goes his own way, but then reunited, and they have their walk off the field together in 2022. Albert, I thought, was going to be the manager of the Angels. Now there's reporting about the Orioles also having interest in Albert, and so it's like, all right, Yadi's probably seeing that, kind of going, oh man, I gotta get back in there. It had been discussed, there was reports out about, his potential interest in joining the Cardinals coaching staff this time around. That's obviously been a topic that has, come up before and never materialized. And so is this the case where he's, it's a few more years down the road, he's ready to finally involve himself in the time commitment of that? And so we were already kind of waiting to see, hey, is anything going to come of that with Yadi and the Cardinals? Then he has this Instagram and posts that he's ready to get in the mix again. But, if that Cardinals thing was going to materialize, it feels like that would have not had to happen with an Instagram post. I don't know.
100%. 100%.
So
yeah, no, he again, like, the news came out. It seemed, we saw last year he was in the dugout for 2 weekends. Ali was very open about, hey, sure, he's welcome here anytime. Like, this is my call. I welcomed him in here for this. And then you hear, hey, Yadi wants to be part of the coaching staff. Yadier Molina is posting this on Instagram today, is saying, hey, listen up, baseball, to all 29 teams that I have zero connection with my entire career.
In Mexico, too.
Mexico, do any of you want to hire me? Because I'm going to say, looking at this, it sure seems like the Cardinals are like, hey, Yadi, we love you. Number 4 is going to be on our walls and never worn again. We want you back here for all kinds of things, but we don't need you in our dugout in 2026.
Like, and I don't know that would be the case for sure, but it would seem like if both sides wanted to do that, then I don't think you take to Instagram. The Instagram feels kind of like he's getting antsy to say, hey, I want it known that through my avenue of communication that I am interested in getting back in the mix. And so whether that's because, he had that pre-existing relationship, whatever, good, bad, or indifferent, whatever it was with John Mozeliak. He was always very respectful of Mo. They had a relationship. to where he would be able to reach out and have that conversation. But like, and this isn't to say anything ill of either side. They just don't know each other. Chaim Bloom and Yadier Molina do not have a pre-existing relationship, right? Who's to say that they've even met? I have no idea. So that part of it is like, well, is this Yadi's way of kind of reaching out and saying, hey, Chaim, you're one of those 30 teams that's out there in plus Mexico. I don't know. We'll see what ends up materializing here, Joe. But I say antsy is kind of the word that I would use to describe the move. I love that we're breaking down Instagram posts, but with Yadi, that's kind of, par for the course. We know that it's his preferred method of communication. And so is he wants it known publicly so that, Cardinals fans obviously will be in the replies to all his posts and saying, hey, we want you back, man. Like, now that it's known we want you back, there's maybe a groundswell of support for that. But again, I going to Instagram maybe is the avenue that opens it up so other teams, can be aware that he's ready to be involved in something like that. We'll see. Like, I know his brother Benji had said, he's gotten managerial offers before in Major League Baseball. There's a lot of openings now. Obviously, Yadi didn't go the way of Albert, where Albert went to another team, wore another uniform, and Yadi's never done that. So now putting that out there that, like, hey, if there's interest, I'm interested. That's what, the connection could be made to where he could end up wearing another uniform sooner rather than later, if this is to be taken at face value.
And to Chaim Bloom, again, and this is all 100% speculation on an Instagram post that was made 2 hours ago. And until there's more stuff out there, this is what you're getting, folks.
Hey, I'd rather be talking NLCS, but the Cardinals aren't in it. So that's what we got.
Exactly. If you're Chaim Bloom, as you mentioned, we have no idea if Chaim and Yadi know each other. What kind of relationship, if any, have they met each other? Have they passed each other in the halls at Busch Stadium? Anything to that manner. We know that Ali is 100% comfortable in his job security to have Yadier Molina right there next to him in the dugout and does not care at all what any kind of outside noise is being said.
Yeah, that's 100% right. And if you think differently, what does last year show you? I mean, it could have been more clear.
Ali's come out and said it. I mean, he's been very vocal about it.
With words and actions, he said it, right? So there's nothing fishy there.
On the side of Chaim Bloom, though, you are replacing a guy that was here for 2 decades. You want to make everything about your job as president of baseball operation your own. Why would you want to add to that? Because any kind of, I'm not calling Yadi a headache. I'm calling the Cardinal fans a possible headache in this scenario.
Wow.
Because, but again, if Yadi is on that bench, any mistake that Ali makes, again, Bloom is having to hear, oh, hey, replace Ali. Yadi's right there. So if anything, Chaim could just be saying, listen, Yadi, we love you. Give me a year. Give me 1 year. And then we can, look at it from another standpoint. It's just not wanting to add on to everything that he is going to be overtaking this year with the Cardinals.
And I don't have an awareness that that's what they've said, but I could see that, I could see the angle of more. It wasn't as much about that for me. When I thought about it, it was the guest coaching spots that he had a couple of times last year where Ollie was all for it. Mo was in charge and had no real reason to, like, that wouldn't have been a good look for him to say, no, we don't want you around. Like, that never would have happened. But I think as you get further into now, like, they're trying to figure out coaching staff, and are we bringing everybody back? Are there a couple of tweaks? Just standard stuff. If Yadi's going to be a part of that, is he wanting it to be, hey, I'll be there for the home games, I'll travel some? Is it a full time? Right. What is it? Because there was a lot of it was laissez-faire with Yadi, as it should be when you had the organization structured the way that it was. But there are some differences now that we acknowledge where, like you said, Chaim Bloom's going to bring in his own situation and want to kind of have some order in the way that it looks, which is not to say that, if I'm Chaim Bloom, I kind of know what I'm getting into, but I would also potentially look at it and say, hey, maybe the first thing that I do isn't to say, no, we don't want you back, Yadi. So, like, I'm not suggesting that's happened, but is it reasonable to look at it and say we're kind of building the foundation of something new here And if we're going to have our coaches, we just want to have the guy, have the guys that are full time or maybe less room for some of the guest coaching spots. I don't know in either direction. I'm just wondering if that could be part of it as well. If Yadi was wanting to get back in the mix, but it's more on a still kind of on Yadi's terms type of deal, because he's got a son that I think is playing high school baseball and is, I believe, already committed to where he'll play for college. And so that's what's going on with Yadi's orbit down in Austin, Texas. But does that equate to wanting to be full-time in Major League Baseball this next year, including starting in February with spring training? Like, I don't know. So if it was discussed at all, could it have been discussed of like, hey, really loved the guest coaching last year. What do you say to a little bit more of that, ramp that up a bit? Is it something where the Cardinals would want, or any team would want a coach to be all in and kind of figuring out the way that works? The Cardinals have kind of had to do this do-si-do with Yadi for several years, right? Going back to Yadi's back. Mo said, Yadi's back. He told us at winter warm-up on a stage there with a microphone in his hand, and it was just not true, right? It hadn't happened yet. They assumed it would, and then one thing goes to another, and it just never really materialized for him to come to spring training, be involved in some of the stuff that they thought he would be. So, you can understand where new guy comes in, they might want to just figure out what does that look like. I don't know what conversations have or haven't been had between Yadi and the Cardinals, but if he's ready to announce that he's coming back or wants to be involved in some capacity, now the door is wide open for teams to reach out to him, Cardinals included, if they want to get something figured out with this individual.
Albert Pujols now linked to the Angels and Orioles job. Skip Schumacher is the new manager for the Texas Rangers. Yadi wants a job somewhere. Nick Punto interviewing for the Minnesota Twins opening. How many former St. Louis Cardinals are going to be managing Major League Baseball teams in 2026? We'll find out. A lot of openings still available all throughout Major League Baseball as they are getting filled over the month of October and into November. That's going to do it for our show today here on Card Central 365. All content always brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Make sure to use that promo code STL Sports and grab your $300 in bonus bets on just a $5 bet when we go live on December 1st. He's Brenden Schaeffer. I'm Joe Roderick. We'll talk to you tomorrow.